This building, and more specifically, this very studio, holds a lot of history. If you have ever watched MuchMusic, you will definitely remember moments like this.
I'll never make you cry. I'd rather die than live without.
They're so young. The biggest acts of the day, like the Backstreet Boys, they would come here for interviews and performances on MuchMusic. And now a new documentary is looking back at historic moments like this. With more, we are joined by the director and producer of 299 Queen Street West, Sean Menard, and former MuchMusic VJ Rick Campanelli, also known as Rick the Temp.
Anne-Marie.
It is so, I feel like...
You just brought me back to 90s, what is that, 97 right there? With the Backstreet
I feel like
Boys. Right
you
here.
should be welcoming me, because this is more your studio, I think, than it is ours.
No, it's ours. It's everyone's.
This is amazing. This is the same view of Queen Street West that viewers would remember from watching the TV channel. Look at this.
Yeah.
This is the old MuchMusic studio, which I was very familiar with when I came here.
If someone comes down and moons us right now, I can't do anything about it, because we got a few of those back in the day. Just people coming to the window, doing their thing, and the show goes on.
Yeah, and there weren't a lot of spaces that were doing that. So, Sean, why did you want to make a documentary about this building?
A moon is such a 90s reference. The mooning, it's just they don't do that as much anymore. But I wanted to make it because this is what I wanted to see. You know, I felt a lot of this part of this history was being forgotten and overlooked.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to kind of recapture my youth in a sense. Maybe this is selfish, but as a filmmaker, getting to work with this material was beyond a pleasure.
These are the scenes. And you know what? It was not lost to me. My office is right above where Speaker's Corner was. And I watched Speaker's Corner when I was 16. The first place I came was here to this window.
I thought you looked familiar all those years ago when we re-met all those years ago.
I couldn't get into Electric Circus, but that's another story. Hey, I'm inspired by you, so I put my questions on the back of the CD.
There you go.
So watching this film is very nostalgic. I watch MuchMusic all the time. I watched Electric Circus. That's where I learned how to dance, which was filmed right across the hall from here.
All right, let's see some moves.
No, that's fine.
Well, come on now.
No, this is about you. When you watched it for the first time, all of this together, how did you feel?
Goosebumps nonstop for that whole 2 hours for me.
Yeah.
And tears to my eyes as well as lots of laughter. And I learned a lot.
You learned a lot.
I did learn a lot. I was an avid viewer of Much back in the 80s, but there were still things that I learned and picked up from this movie that I didn't know before. I thought I knew everything about this place, but Sean put it all together so nicely and told the perfect story.
Oh, that's such a great compliment. Sean, you know, we mentioned Electric Circus. Our floor director, JP, used to work on that show. I love that, first of all.
Okay, let's get you to try some moves. Reenact what went down.
But here, talk about things that you didn't know. So I watched the show, I loved the show, but there's this great story about how it went from a daytime show to the evening. Can you share that with viewers?
Yeah, I mean, that's something I didn't know until I was interviewing Monica Diol, the original host, and she told me how it started off in the daytime on City TV. And so then it sent me back into the archives, and it was interesting to see the level of passion. Is that the right word? I don't know. Earnestly dancing, but it started to grow. And then after about 2 years, they finally, enough begging, got it from the daytime into the nighttime, and that's when the show went to a whole nother level.
Oh man, I remember like watching myself in the reflection of my like screen door, like trying to dance like people on Electric Circus, man. What makes this film so amazing is all of this archival footage that you just got to watch and play with. And that archival footage came from the video library that was like right below this studio.
Downstairs.
How did that come to be?
A lot of strategy for 6 years of wanting to make it and not really getting to that point, and then eventually deciding to just self-finance it. Started interviewing a bunch of the VJs, and then I cut a trailer, sent it in. Justin Stockman at Crave, who had been with Bell Media for a while, always been believing in the project and in me. So finally we got full access to that archives, which is incredible.
It is incredible. Rick, you know one of the things I love about, what are you going to say?
This footage is amazing that we're watching right now.
It's surreal to actually see the footage and know that we're in the building, the same building. That's another level.
Where it all went down, It's unbelievable. I could watch this footage for
And a lot
hours.
of these techniques are used now in modern television with studios and companies in the US around the world that actually have a budget. But this was just out of necessity. This is cheap. We can. This is live. We don't have to edit. We can functional office space and film in.
It's so true. It's so true. The living movie, right? Is what. how it was described.
Listen, I'm looking at some of the look, there's Erica. You guys were such huge celebrities because this was it, right?
Oh, gosh,
you'd come home after school and this is what you'd watch. They were celebrity crushes. You guys interviewed some of the biggest names and some of the biggest acts came through. So, like the Backstreet Boys.
We were
for
all
example.
music fans.
Yeah.
We were just fans of music, and we wanted to be part of it. That's all we were. We were viewers of MuchMusic that got turned into VJs at MuchMusic, and it was such an honor. And I'm still so fortunate. I just won a contest back in '94.
I remember that.
I just won a contest. That's all. I was going to be on my way to do something else in my life, but stepping foot. I remember stepping foot in close to 30 years ago. I stepped past that beam right there. And that step into this environment changed my life. Sorry, I say environment. I know you call it a studio.
Yeah.
But it will always be an environment for me.
You couldn't call it a studio.
You weren't allowed to call it a studio, I learned.
That's right.
Hey, you can watch 299 Queen Street West as it tours the country this fall. For dates, for ticket info, you can head to 299queenstreetwest.com. Thank you both for taking us through this environment, your old home, and one that's familiar to so many of us.
Your new home, yeah.
Yeah, my new home.
Now it's time to dance. Now we're gonna dance.
Okay, I'll let you start.
Where's the music?
Where's JP? JP can do it.
Hey, thanks for watching. If you liked this, be sure to subscribe here, or you can check out more Your Morning videos right here.